Well, hello there. Good morning to you. It is Tuesday, and we're already at September the 15th. Hard to believe we're already halfway through this month. Great to have you with us on Up to the Minute. HCC News and Information. Yeah, we got it for the next half hour or so. Stick around. I've got two co-hosts joining me today. Brittany Pacheco, she's always here. No big deal. But hey, Frank Cooper is in the house. Frank.
Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for having me today. I'm so excited.
We are pleased to have you with us, Frank. So much to unpack with you today. We got a lot to talk about. Sports is back. Frank's excited about that. And he saw a movie over the weekend. We'll talk about that very shortly. But back to Brittany Pacheco. Good to see you, Brittany.
Yeah, I'm just here every day. Maybe if I take a leave, I'll get a nice welcome back one day. But, in the meantime, I'd like to also welcome everyone who's joining us for this morning's Up to the Minute. It is also the beginning of Hispanic Heritage Month. So we'll be posting weekly influential individuals from the Hispanic community. So be sure to check out our social media. And in the meantime, also like us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And don't forget about our YouTube channel, where we have thousands of videos for you to take a look at from our very own HCCTV. And last but not least, please share this podcast so that we can grow our audience, but also share this great information to everyone out in the world.
Everyone in the world. That's our goal with this podcast. We want literally every person to watch this. Will you help us by sharing it? Well, let's get down to the HCC news and information. We always have a couple of special guests. Today is no exception. We've got Tiffany Morris joining us. She's the principal consultant with Apexena Solutions. Good morning, Tiffany.
Good morning. Good morning.
Great to see you with us. I know you've got a great webinar that's free and folks can participate in that. We're going to tell folks about that very shortly. Stick around with us. We'll be back with you shortly.
All right.
First up, Dr. Richard Gosselin. You've seen him before on the show. He's now the Interim Dean of Social and Behavioral Sciences with the Academic Center of Excellence. Good morning, Dr. Gosselin.
How are you? Good morning. Thanks for having me today.
We're glad to have you. A lot of things have changed since we talked last. You're now taking on a new role as the dean. Why don't you tell us a bit about your new position?
Yeah, so I'm really excited about heading up social and behavioral sciences. It's a great thrill. I've been in the trenches teaching all of these many years, and it's a great opportunity to be able to serve the division in a meaningful way. So I'm really excited about the position, excited about the possibilities that it holds.
And I understand you have an interesting philosophy about teaching excellence with your faculty that you try to get across. Maybe you can tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, so in the case of teaching excellence, what I really just mean by that is leading by example, at least with respect to the role of the dean. And that is, I tried to really think hard about how to reimagine the role to go beyond just the mere administrative aspects. I mean, there's still lots of, paperwork and things that you have to do, and that's a part and parcel of any job. But the teaching aspect, I take that seriously. And in my view, you've got to lead by example, and that is go into the trenches and actually do this work yourself, but also recruit other people that can do this work and demonstrate those good practices so it can be shared with others. So that's really my view about that in the division. What we should be doing is sharing ideas about good teaching practices. I like to steer away from the term best practices because we always seem to learn something new.
Well, it says a lot, and I've always been under the impression that with the whole leading aspect, you try to surround yourself with people who can do a great job and then let them do their jobs.
That's exactly right. So one of my philosophies about leadership is, first start off by leading by example. But the other thing is sometimes leading means getting out of the way. That means letting people who are more competent in their field do those things and let them lead the charge. And that requires, of course, several virtues. One is, prudence. Never ask anybody in the division to do something you wouldn't be prepared to do yourself. I think that's a first starter. And then just humility, just be a human being, exercise humility. recognize others know more than you, give those people the credit that they deserve, and really treat them like gold. Treat them the way you want to be treated. And I think those are good philosophies to live by. They're not really anything brand new, but they're values that I hold dear to my heart.
We're all living in a new world right now with this COVID thing and you and I talked extensively about this in the past. We're delivering an education online. How do you approach professional development when we're living in this virtual world right now?
Sure. So one of the things on the professional development front already got started. They got started way back in March when you and I first spoke with the Faculty Video Lounge, which was something that happened kind of by accident to some degree, because I was only expecting to use the video conferencing software as a way to exchange ideas with fellow faculty members. And I was going to be happy if just a few dozen of us showed up. But of course, we all know the ending to that story. There were hundreds of people that showed up. And what's great about the Faculty Video Lounge is it gives a whole host of professors the chance to share their ideas and to share the good practices that they're already engaged in the classroom with the rest of the HCC community, which might not otherwise be possible. So that's kind of the front that I'm trying to take now. And we're trying to move a little bit away from exclusive reliance just on the technology and start focusing on more meaty issues that faculty members are interested in.
Speaking of technology, I know HCC has been recognized as a leader in technology with the programs and the instruments and the tools that we're using here at HCC. How do we translate that into getting across to our students, but not only getting across to them, but retaining those students from semester to semester?
Sure. So I think the key point number one is to emphasize that technology is merely a tool, that it is just a means to an end, and to not be freaking out about what buttons to push and where to click, although that does turn out to be pretty darn important. But I think faculty members can work on that early on in the term to orient the students towards those basic tips that are necessary just to survive. And once they feel comfortable, then they can kind of sit back and enjoy the ride and get into the business of what it is that we all want to do, which is to teach our students. And so I think on that front, looking at it from a sober point of view, that as the technology is merely a tool for us to do the great things that we're already doing, and maybe even take it to another level, because there are some things that we're able to do now that we weren't able to do before. So it's not all a curse. There are some, hidden blessings here.
When this first started in March, there seemed to be a big push to get everybody online, to bring the faculty up to speed. Then we went through the spring semester, went through the summer. We're now approaching really 6 months of doing this virtually online. What is the feedback you're getting from faculty members? Are they getting more comfortable in this new world? And do you see this being more prevalent as we move forward into not just the fall, but as we move into the spring semester?
I think a number of faculty members clearly are becoming a little bit more acclimated and feel more comfortable. They're starting to find their feet. Some are still a little bit worried, but that makes sense because of the newer faculty. And I don't mean people that were just hired newly, but I mean faculty that are new to the online environment. But I think slowly but surely we're moving into a direction where people are getting a greater degree of comfort. But I think, Todd, you hit on a really good point, and that is there's no question that the landscape of higher ed has changed forever. We're not going to go back to business as usual. And in many ways, that's a good thing, because it means that we really had to rethink how it is we go about the art and craft of teaching. And if we're still doing it the same way that we were doing it 10, 15, or 20 years ago, and of course, we haven't got the memo, right?
Right.
And I think many faculty members have got the memo, and they're making those changes, and that's a great thing. I'm happy to see it. I've seen so many incredible things so far.
Richard, I know you're real big about instilling the entrepreneurial spirit in your faculty and staff. Maybe you can tell us a little bit of your philosophy on that and how you work with the faculty on that entrepreneurial spirit.
Sure. So the idea of the entrepreneurial spirit is, which is the primary ingredient, is risk-taking, right? So you need to convey to your team, It's okay to come up with new ideas. It's okay if they're a little bit risky. And it's even okay if they don't work, because that's one more thing that we can cross off the list to say that didn't work, let's not do that again. Or let's make an adjustment. Maybe it wasn't a disaster, but there was some wrinkles that needed to be worked out. And it's also to stress to your team, it's okay to try new things. And if you fail, we're not going to engage in any recriminations. Oh, how dare you do this, and calling people on the carpet for mistakes that they've made, because that squashes the entrepreneurial spirit. And we need to foster it.
When I first started HCC, one of my mentors was a lady I worked with, Dr. Fenna Garza, who was the president of the Southwest College. And, she instilled in us and the PR department, just, go out and do something. You guys, I'm going to give you the ability to do new things. If they don't work, that's okay, but at least you tried. And I think, that's real important when you're working with people, to take those chances, because if we don't take the chances, we're going to stay in that safe space and we're not going to grow.
Absolutely. And I think a number of our faculty are leading the way on just that front. And we've noticed changes where we've seen faculty members make adjustments based on feedback that they've received. Even in the faculty video lounge, we did some surveys to gauge what kind of things we could do better. And people spoke up and they told us there was a lot of constructive criticism. But if you don't take that constructive criticism and work it back into your model to do better, then you wasted an opportunity. And I think at HCC, thank goodness, we've been given a lot of degrees of freedom to be creative. And I think we should continue in that spirit and continue to support people's entrepreneurial initiatives.
Richard Gosselin, always great to talk with you. You've got some great things going on. We wish you best of luck in this new position. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. Take care. Absolutely.
We're going to move on to Tiffany Morris. We introduced her earlier. Good morning again, Tiffany. I know you've got a big day tomorrow with something you're doing for procurement, and it's a webinar. Maybe you can tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, so we'll be talking about personal branding. And of course, in this digital landscape that we're now in, we're really going to need to be able to be more prominent. When you search on your name, what is showing up? What is your story? So that's what we'll be talking about. It'll be a lot of fun. We'll get some examples. We'll go into understanding the importance of the branding and how to use it to further your career. And we'll go into some strategies on how to enhance your personal brand. So we'll be doing a lot of that. It'll be very interactive and lots of fun, and really just get into the concept of personal branding and telling your story.
It sounds like something like this would not only be useful for business owners, but really also people who may be looking for a job during these times, living in a virtual world, because you've got a personal brand. Do a Google on yourself and you'll see what that's all about.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's all about what story are you telling and how to tell a better one. And that's what we're really going to be doing, a deep dive into. Lots of interactive examples, what's a good way to tell your story and what's a not so great way to tell your story. So we're really excited to get into that.
Just to let people know, if you're interested in the webinar, it's from 10 to 11:30 a.m. Wednesday, September 16th, which is tomorrow. We're going to put information in this post where you can get a direct link to attend the seminar tomorrow. And it is a free seminar. Do you have to sign up ahead of time, Tiffany?
Yes. I believe you can sign up to the minute, if I'm not mistaken. That's how it was when we did it with the procurement team last week. I know this one is a little bit more, internal. So I'm not quite sure, but I do believe the WebEx link is live and you're able to register even up to the minute.
I know when I worked for an ad agency, one of the big things we did for clients was SEO, search engine optimization, and really placing your brand, how high it would show up in Google and how many times you'd get a search when people search for certain things or your names or topics. That can work adversely against you as well. How do you keep that from happening?
Well, one of the things I like to recommend is do a Google search on yourself and find out what exactly is there. Whatever you don't like, do your best to remove those things. If there's something that you can't remove, put more good things out there that will overshadow whatever you don't like. And also being very present. So again, I mentioned digital landscape, right? You know, what social media platforms are you on? Are they the most appropriate for you? Are they intertwining too much with your personal website? You may be a cat lover and you've got pictures of cats everywhere, but you know, does that really fit in with your professional brand, you know, your other personal brand? So keeping those separate if that works, or keeping them together if it works. It's those types of things, really, really looking at what story are you telling online, because that's our new world right now.
Yeah, I guess it would be harmful if you're trying to sell scented candles to a major company and you come across as the cat lady.
Exactly. You know, we even get into a little example where we talk about Santa Claus. We could say Santa Claus,
Yep.
He's a nonprofit CEO running a organization in the North Pole. Or do you want to say he's an amazing gift-giving guy and he loves to spread cheer all over the world and has a wonderful fast delivery, even faster than Amazon because he does it the night before. You know, so, you know, which one sounds more exciting? Right? Which one compels you to want to know more? And so it's those types of things we take a deep dive and we look at those.
And I guess this is what you would call a digital footprint.
Yes.
Tell me about
Absolutely.
that.
So this digital footprint, it's what, you know, I know I keep saying it, but it's so important. What story are you telling?
Yeah.
You know, what does your Facebook say about you? What does your LinkedIn say? You know, is Twitter what you need to do? What are you tweeting? You know, does your YouTube signify who you are and what you want it to say if you are a YouTuber? You know, what are those things? You know, do you have something called, I like to call it a digital portfolio? You know, I believe everyone should own their own domain name. And let me explain. So I own the domain name TiffanyDMorris.com. That's mine. So there, I call it kind of like an anthology. I'm not a musician, but it's my anthology, if you will, you know, my education, my experience, you know, some of the clients I've helped, some of the things that I do, the ways that I serve. And that to me embodies my entire personal brand. So you're going to find that if you search for me. And so it's those types of things. Do you have your own domain name? You know, do you have www.yourname.com? Does it tell about you? Do you have that? Because I'll give you a true example. My maiden name is Tiffany Edwards. When I first started on this journey, before I got married, I said, oh, let me get tiffanyedwards.com. Someone already owned the name. You know, I was like, wow, there's somebody else that owns the name. So that immediately when I got married, the first thing I did was get www.tiffanydmorris.com because I wanted to own my own domain name.
Is content still king when it comes out, when it goes to digital marketing and establishing your digital portfolio? You kind of touched on it earlier, but It seems like the more content you have out there is a better way of telling your story.
It is, because remember, if you Google, so I know SEO is a big thing now, especially now. So you want to have your keywords out there. So if someone's looking for, say, I don't know, learning services, right? Or training. When you Google that in my name, I want it to pop up. You know, I know there's a million training companies, but if you put enough keywords in there, I'm going to show up somewhere, right? If you do a Google search, if you do a search on LinkedIn, I would hope that you'd find me or my company. It's those types of things, making sure that you're putting those keywords in, that you're thinking about your hashtags. Are they lining up to who you're trying to portray? And I'll even give an example as an individual person who just wants to further their career. On LinkedIn, do you have the keywords that say what you do? You know, so for you guys, do you have broadcasting on there? Do you have Facebook Live as a keyword? Do you have interviewing skills as a keyword? You know, all of those different things. If someone's looking for that service or wants to reach out or anything like that, when they're doing the search, the lovely internet fairies are crawling for the information and they're looking for you.
Tiffany, if folks would like to get a hold of you prior or after the webcast you have coming up, how can they do so?
They can do so by my website, www.tiffanydmorris.com, or on my company, www.apexena, APEXENA, solutions.com. I'm also on LinkedIn as Tiffany D. Morris, and just look me up and I'm here for you.
Tiffany, of course, will have the webinar tomorrow, Personal Branding. What story are you telling? For more information, you can visit hccs.edu/SDBP. Well, we will have that link in the social media post for the show as well, so you can find it there. Tiffany, good luck on the webinar tomorrow. Thank you for being here and letting everybody know about it.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you. We are going to move across to Brittany and Frank. Of course, HCC News and Information. We've got that part of the show coming your way. We're going to start with Brittany, of course. Brittany, one thing that is coming our way very soon, we've got the Second Start semester. Registration is ongoing right now.
That's correct, Todd. It's not too late, and that's the campaign that we are trying to push and stress to our students, be it students who were once enrolled at HCC, but for whatever reasons had to take a leave of their studies. You can certainly come back and take a class through our Second Start, which is about to start on September 21st. Now, you also have up until that date to register for courses. So it's a great opportunity to obviously get back into HCC. It's a little bit more accelerated because it's going to go a little bit more quickly, but you can do it. I believe in you. You got this. So be sure to head over to hccs.edu/now to register for Second Start.
And Frank, there's a campaign going on with faculty and staff raising money for the scholarship All In for HCC, and that's ongoing as well.
Yeah, Todd. So now more than ever, HCC students need our support. So the HCC Foundation is asking us to help them overcome financial struggles and stay on track with their classes so they can graduate. So show your support, man, and please donate. So through November 6th, sign up for payroll deduct, and your gift will yield an impact all year. So for more information on that, hccs.edu/all-in-for-HCC.
Thanks, Frank. And of course, if you are a student and you still need assistance because of Hurricane Harvey, I know it's been over 3 years, but folks' lives during that time, their lives were incredibly changed. I mean, life-changing events happened during that hurricane, and there's still a lot of folks out there who are suffering financially because of Harvey, trying to get back on their feet. Well, students, there is still financial aid available in the form of grants. You won't have to pay them back, and that Hurricane Harvey help is available for tuition and fees, books, transportation, housing, childcare assistance. Morning and afternoon sessions are available. If you have any questions, you can email them at hccs.edu/Harvey Assistance. We'll have that link in this post. Some things to keep in mind, Brittany, we've got some virtual coffee breaks. The one happening today is very important, so make sure you tune in for that.
It is, and that virtual coffee break, Janet May, who is our Chief of Human Resources, will be joined by Dr. Kurt Ewan, who is the Vice Chancellor for Strategy, Planning, and Institutional Effectiveness. This is going on at 11 a.m. this morning, so grab your coffee, your water, juice, whatever it is that you need to get yourself through this morning, and be sure to tune in for virtual coffee breaks with Janet May and Dr. Kurt Ewan. Also on Thursday, there will be another virtual coffee break. This time, Janet May will be joined by Dr. Mehmet Argin, Dean of Global Energy Center of Excellence. So once again, be sure to grab your cup of coffee or whatever it is you need to get yourself through the morning, and check your HCC emails in order to register for the virtual coffee break, just so that you can have that link to join.
Frank, if students have questions, our virtual lobby remains open right now.
Yes, I know a lot of students are having a tough time trying to get through on our phone line. So if you want your questions answered about admissions, scholarships, anything like that, you can contact us on Zoom. No appointment is needed. Extended hours, Monday through Thursday, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., and Saturday, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. So for more information on that, www.hccs.edu/virtual lobby.
There's a couple of things to be aware of if you are work for or attend the Northwest College, the HCC Northwest Student Government Association meeting, and Hispanic Heritage Month. Both of those things are happening. You can join the Northwest SGA for their General Assembly meeting to discuss semester goals, initiatives. That's for students. The link for that meeting is in this post. And Brittany, there's also something going on involving Hispanic Heritage Month.
That's correct. So they will be recognizing Hispanic Heritage Month with 2 activities starting tomorrow, Wednesday, September 16th. At 1 p.m., they're going to have a WebEx meeting on voting in the Latinx community. This is really important for all the Latinx community members to participate in. So join in this session to discuss the power of voting. And also, they will have at 7 p.m. Loteria. That basically translates to Mexican bingo. If y'all haven't played it, it's fun. It's great. We always have a good time doing that. So join the HCC Northwest SGA for a few rounds of Loteria, known as Mexican bingo. This is open to HCC students only. So we'll have that link in this post, and be sure to register for those events. And also just be sure to make sure you're following this post and check out the links on this broadcast.
Outdoor Wi-Fi zones. Students, do you need help connecting to the internet? Well, our campuses are available for you. The campus buildings remain closed, so that means there are no, you don't have access to bathrooms or phone chargers or electrical chargers, so make sure you do that ahead of time. But you can join any of our campuses. You can get more information on this endeavor by going to hccs.edu/outdoor Wi-Fi. Of course, this is free for all of our students to connect to the internet. So we'll log on to that website if you have questions. We also have some testing sites for COVID on our HCC campuses. Look in the post for this show and you can get the information on that. So I want to go to Frank because Frank went to the movies over the weekend. Frank, you saw Tenet. How was it?
You know what? I laughed when you told me your description of it, how you was like, you know what, I don't know what's going on, but I'm sure it was a good movie.
Yeah.
And I laughed, right? I had the exact same feeling watching it last Saturday. I made sure I was rested. I made sure I was wide awake, and watching it, I'm like, you don't know what's real and what's fake. Like you don't like there's so much time curving, and like it's very abstract. So the ending was great, but I'm going to say at least one more time because I want to figure out how they got to that ending. But
yeah, about halfway through the movie, I was just like, I give up. I stopped trying to figure it out. I just kind of watched the movie to enjoy it. I'll have to watch it again to see if I can comprehend because I don't know what happened in it, but it was a great movie. Go see it if you get a chance. Tremendous acting in the movie. So go out and see that. And I got a chance over the weekend for the first time to go see Black Panther, Frank. And it was in one of these theaters that has the 3 screens. Have you been in one of those? There's the forward screen.
No, I've not.
And there's 2 screens on the side. So that experience was incredible as well.
Oh my goodness! Is it still in the movie theaters? I need to go check it out one more time. It was
at Regal over the weekend, and it was in that special theater. I don't know if it's still planned there, but they've been showing older movies. I think later this month they have Close Encounters coming. So until the studios can start releasing these movies, they're bringing in the older ones for discounted prices. It was only $5 to go see Black Panther. So definitely worth seeing in the theater experience. So that's going on. Frank, football's back. I know you're excited.
I am. I was very excited, and it's still an adjustment period seeing no fans in the stands and hearing pumped up crowd noise. It's very, very weird. But as far as the quality of the games, they were all good. A lot of them still had good games. It's just I think the injury bug is going to hit a lot of teams because teams didn't have a chance to have live hit action.
Yeah,
teams to kind of rush it in training camp. So, I'm just glad to have it back.
Well, the Texans missed those preseason games. That gives them a chance to get warmed up because they certainly looked like, from what I heard, they were definitely in preseason mode when they faced the Kansas City Chiefs, which you were glad about that win. One of the only folks in Houston glad about that win.
Very much so.
So absolutely. Well, we'll have to see what happens in next week's football. College football on the way. We'll keep you up to date with that here, folks. That's our sports segment on the show. Brittany, we're going to wrap things up, but tomorrow we've got some special guests. One of them, your favorite of the week.
Yes. Chief Greg Cunningham of our HCC Police Department will be joining us for his regular Wednesday appearance. And we'll also be joined by Rick Gillis, who's former HCCTV host of a show called Get a Life, who has now finished his 6th
Get
book.
a job. Get a job.
Get a life. Oh, man. I need to get a life, apparently. I'm so sorry.
My.
No disrespect to Rick Gillis. He hosted the show called Get a Job.
Get a job.
Get a job. My goodness. Wow. He's going to be talking to us about his books and as well as his award-winning 5-part series, HCC Partners for Jobs, Retrain, Reinvent, and Re-Enter.
Awesome. All that and more tomorrow. So get a life while you're at it too. Thanks, Brittany. And thank you for joining us for this show today. We've enjoyed being here for you. We'll be back tomorrow with more HCC news and information live on Up to the Minute.